Please pray with me. More of you, O Christ, less of me. More of you, O Christ, less of me. More of you, O Christ, less of me. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts draw us closer to you, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. This little text from Philippians is one of those kind of bumper sticker theology texts. And it gets read by a lot of folks, and I think it's often a surface gratitude. But I want to talk a little bit about the deeper gratitude. And what I loved in our community conversation today is some of you all went deep. You know, it's one thing to say, oh, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, which is fine. But when you can say, horrible things have happened to me, and I learned from it, and I'm grateful for that learning, that's a whole other level of gratitude. That's gratitude in my mind that has legs. It can walk around. It can go places where surface gratitude can't go. Now, a lot of you all, I'm probably the only Texan in the room. There's no more Texans in here, I don't think. Okay. Well, I'm just saying, if you're from Texas, and it's more intense if you're a girl. I just want to point that out. Because the difference between men and women in Texas is pretty dramatic. My uncle used to say my mother was an only child. Because the way men are raised and the way women are raised. So different. It's like they had different childhoods. And it's really true. But if you're raised like in Texas, there is a, now don't be ugly. That's surface gratitude. And that's surface niceness. Some people in other parts of the country, including Texas, will tease and say, well, Californians are all, have a nice day. And a lot of my sort of, I'm not throwing any shade here. I'm just noticing that some of my really New Age friends, like really woo-woo friends, will sometimes be just like, oh, I feel so peaceful today. It's just so beautiful. And I think, okay, when the fire comes, this person is not who I'm going to. This person will not be good in a storm. This person's going to fall apart, and I'm probably going to have to rescue them. But some of the people I meet who are kind of grouchy and grumpy, but always working and never complaining and never pointing out to everybody else, you know, you really should do it like this. Those are the people, those are the ones that I know in good times and bad, especially in bad, I can just go sit next to them and it'll be okay. Some of y'all are some of those people. Most of y'all are some of those people. And that's what the deep gratitude is. Because a couple of weeks ago when I talked about the science of gratitude, they say that gratitude is a way to heal trauma and fear. Gratitude interventions are actually a treatment where you learn to be grateful even in the midst of trauma, even in the midst of fear, especially fear. And so gratitude, deep gratitude, will heal your soul. Heal your soul. And it makes you trustworthy. If you really are living from a place of deep gratitude, people will trust you. They'll trust you with the things that are hard. They will trust you with the secrets that maybe they don't tell in other places. They will trust you. And that's what I think was going on in this letter to Philippians. It wasn't just the surface gratitude. If you think about first century Palestine, I don't think gratitude, certainly as we think about it, was probably much of a thing. People were mostly just trying to get from point A to point B. They were trying to keep food growing, do work, care for their children. They didn't have the kind of leisure we have to think about things. They had to just do. And there are many people in this world who are in that same place now. And a lot of them are around us. A lot of them are around us. And so for those of us who want to be helpers, we need to cultivate gratitude in ourselves so that we can be of service to those folks who don't really have the leisure to think about it. And that's not simple, but it is a circle. I used to say always with the offering, we are blessed to be a blessing. And so recognizing our blessings and being grateful for them, including the ones that don't look like blessings, including, the suicide of my grandfather, including mental illness in our family, including the broken things we've been through. When we become grateful for having had those experiences, then people who are living on the edge, people who are going through those experiences, will know that we are trustworthy. So this is deep work. It's not surface. It's deep. And one of the things I've always loved about this church is we don't focus on belief. You can believe whatever you want. We focus more on practice. But I gotta say, a belief system that keeps you connected to that which is greater than yourself and out of your own kind of world definitely helps. For some of us, it's essential. For others, maybe not. But it does help. So if you cultivate a relationship with higher power, with God as you understand it, or you simply got, a little love for Jesus somewhere, that often can help when you feel like you don't know how to do it on your own. And we also believe in this church that we are meant to be the embodiment of the holy. We often pray with Teresa of Avila, "Let me be your hands, your heart, your feet." Christ has no body but us. So we might be the only person that someone will meet who embodies love, who embodies kindness, who embodies gratitude. Now, I often think about those first century believers of the Jesus movement. Sometimes we focus on the persecution by the Roman Empire. That was real. But we also don't focus on what these Philippians were probably up to. They got to be known, and this is what kind of made them dangerous to the empire. They got to be known by their fearlessness. They were the ones who would take care of horribly ill people when other people ran from them. Now, this has often been described as They no longer had a fear of death. And the belief in resurrection, or this is not all of it, was maybe one of the reasons they no longer feared death. But I also believe that they had gotten to a place in their lives where they had the peace that passes all understanding. If you are at home in yourself and peaceful and no longer afraid even of death, that's an amazing place to live. And it allows you to care for the ill, the lonely, to not be sideswiped by an unexpected death. Right, Terry? Yesterday was her son Greg's 56th birthday, and as we know, he died this year. And so I've watched Terry go through her grief and her gratitude in equal measures, maybe. More gratitude every day, perhaps, for the experience of the grief as well as the life of Greg. We use gratitude perhaps as a measuring sign of how it is with our souls. The deep gratitude. And so I leave you with this simple thought. We are blessed to be a blessing. And if you can really wrap your head around that, you will indeed find the peace that passes all understanding and will keep you in all you do. Amen.